Some corrections from the first telemetry video, real quick. When I was talking about handshaking, there were frequently times when I was really talking about data transfer. Hardware handshaking takes place the first few milliseconds of a connection. That establishes how the hardware is going to deal with each other. When you go to use it with Mission Planner and the software handshaking takes place, the hardware set up how the packets are going to be transferred. Now you're going to set up what's inside the packets and how much you're going to pay attention to it and timing and all sorts of stuff. That takes place the first few milliseconds with Mission Planner connecting. Then data transfer starts taking place. Packets are just shipped and the data that's in them is just put in them, and all of that just continues on forever after. So there were times there I used the word handshaking that wasn't quite right. So right now, if we look at the Sky Hunter across the way, you've seen how all of this link quality and the radios all work. I'm connected via USB right now. Oops, I guess I have to go someplace else first, don't I? I'll just get this set up and then we'll go over to that information, which I think is, well, it is here. The way I've got this wired, etc., ground and voltage, transmit and receive from the CRSF, and transmit and receive from Mavlink across these. So what we're talking about here is Mavlink on these two pins, transmit and receive, from the Nano Diversity receiver. So that's UART4. Oops, boy. That's UART4 right here. So as far as Ardu is concerned, that's serial 6 to it. In this list, they've got the Ardu serials 0 through 6, ascending order. But you see the 7, 1, 2, 3, 8, 4, 5, 6 for the straight hardware over here. So we'll be talking about serial 6. So if we run in where I just did serial 6, this is for the Crossfire Micro version 2 via Wi-Fi. The solution Crossfire gave me mid to end of April this year. But I don't think the hardware was ready at that time. We'll see. Perhaps. So it's set to 2 for Mavlink 2 and 115 for 115 200 baud rate. So we'll disconnect here. I am connected via the USB. I'm going to unplug it. I can even exit Ardu. I think I can, yeah, I can exit this too and that and go back into Mission Planner. And this connects via TCP/IP now. TCP by Wi-Fi. And this is a fair, got to 100, so it started checking, it got its handshaking done. This is a fair, remember they say cut off at 60? They being the documentation and everything everybody said for the last 10 years in the forums. I like mine at 70. And it's down around 50 now, and just hang out. It's going to work. New things have happened since this afternoon. This is the first time I've been able to try this in a while. I had users' questions to answer, and I was building the Sky Hunter. And you can see it's getting perimeters now. It stalled a little bit, but it's getting perimeters at 70. You see, that's more where, and see, there's some already gots in there. See them? Already got, 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 then one a little longer, and then a third one right after it. I thought we had a little pattern going there for pairs for a second. 62, so what they say in air quotes, and what I say, I use a 70% link quality connection. I trust a 70% or above. But it looks like they may be correct. We're down to 50 right now. But this is via Mavlink via Crossfire Wi-Fi Crossfire Micro version 2 transmitter. It says it's got them all in. This is supposed to be workable. Again, I don't like this 60-ish%, but it's coming up. Over here in our link stats, 1.45K. Even with a 90, it says 90. It says higher link quality here than it does down there. Who knows if this is what's coming in, and then overhead for Mission Planner itself is causing it to go down to 79. If Mission Planner's modifying that or not, I have no idea. I don't see that these two match right now, but I can sure deal with 84%. Now we're down under 1K, 859. That's still pretty good bytes per second. 16-bit bytes they are. I don't know. But this is the Sky Hunter. We'll have to see how it works outdoors, but there's more separation and more separation and more separation. And in other environments, I was talking earlier, the things I did today, they don't count until they've been done outdoors. They've been done other places, been done inside a metal building where they should be worse. Let's prove all different tangents of this. None of that's been done yet. Max time between packets, 50 milliseconds. That's pretty good now. 915 bytes per second was up here for just a second. It's got 5K upload. It's got a whole lot more data coming from the platform to Mission Planner than Mission Planner's trying to send to the platform. And I don't know if there's a way to change this loading. We're up to 1K bytes per second and a 75% connection. This is more agreeing. Maybe this isn't updated as often. I don't know. But that's working now. It's obviously a Mavlink 2 connection here in my opinion. Now, here comes the bomb. I'm not satisfied. Even if this was a 100% connection working exactly like a USB cable, I took it outdoors and put it on one end of the football field. See, there's the bummer. Outdoors, if I trust it enough, I can fly these things to further test them, and that lets me sort of get them away from me and then bring them back without me having to walk. The first thing I would do outdoors would go and put my ground station here and then put the Sky Hunter a football field away. Take that walk back down there, bring it back, connect to it, see what it's doing at a football field away. It could be better than this is working in the basement. They could be too close to each other right now. There could be reflections again coming from the metal objects in this room everywhere, causing problems. You can't tell. You have to do multiple experiments in multiple environments to really, really know. And again, like I said, I'd love to go inside a metal building where it's really bad and see that it goes to 10 and won't connect, something like that. Something that a postulate is proven because it did work in that direction radically. But I am not satisfied with this. And I've decided to buy Dragon Link. Had my first Crossfire in, it was all ordered in March of this year, but a lot of it didn't arrive until April, first week, second week of April. And then I just got to work with it through May. And then on June 6th, I fell during the Segway tour and rattled my brain around and was kind of out of it completely for 3 months. Yeah. Most of June, all the rest of June, July, August. Yeah. 3 months. I didn't even post videos, I don't think. Anyway, and I got into Crossfire because they said, and I could show you in their documentation, should I? Oh, man. Their documentation, I decided to buy I'm going to let that run in the background there and see what happens with it. I decided to buy a TX16S radio and a Crossfire transmitter with it from a company in March of this year, and I did it purely because of this right here. Telemetry and CRSF. I had no idea what CRSF meant prior to April of this year. Never been exposed to it before. But down here where it said streaming MAV link to your smart device to even update firmware. I think it can probably update the Crossfire stuff. I'm not sure it can update the flight controller, but that's more a limitation to the flight controller. Let's anyway, 3 times faster than any other protocol. For anyone flying Betaflight, KISS, or Ardu Pilot Pixhawk platforms. I mean, it was just glowing. So I said, yeah, the new TX16S Maxes had been coming out, and I decided they had gotten up to the quality where I'd take a chance on one. So I ordered it with this transmitter from a company I won't name. The two of them came. I plugged them into each other. It didn't even turn on. The radio turned on. Radio seemed good to me at that time. But this transmitter would not turn on. I really wanted this transmitter more than anything else on the planet because of its power. I hope someday to go to another country where the rules aren't as strict and fly 10, 20, 50, 70 miles away and back. It's my desires. But I like this transmitter particularly because it's got a head tracker output right here. It also had the jog right here for this display right here that lights up and displays information. I know you can do that inside an OpenTX radio now, but I didn't have an OpenTX radio prior to the radio that came in the door with this transmitter. I now know you can change that, and I can change it for the Crossfire Micro version 2 inside OpenTX with a Lewis script. But I also wanted to use this on my old Futaba radio. No Lewis scripts, no scripts or nothing. It's barely computerized. But the two of them didn't work out of the box. Which as soon as I reported it to the company that I bought the radio and transmitter from, Their immediate reply to me was, this was in less, well, it might have been in less than 24 hours. Their immediate reply to me was, you bought the wrong transmitter. I reported it don't even power up, and their immediate response was, you bought the wrong transmitter. You should have bought this one. So in my brain, I said, fine. Seconds after I got that email, I ordered this one. Next day air. It came in like 2 days. During that 2 days, I asked them for a refund of this one. They said no. I said, why? We've got the solution now. I just went with your fix, bought the micro, less money. We don't do refunds. Well, we went back and forth a little bit, and there were some failings on my part to read some things about Crossfire support and stuff, but they were afraid they were going to get stuck with this $209 transmitter that I could have damaged and have to eat it. Whereas I had my micro transmitter to plug in, had it like 2 days later, plugged it in, it worked fine from the get-go. Well, we were still going back and forth. What the hell am I going to do with this one? They suggested I sell it on eBay. That kind of made me mad. So they wouldn't take this one back in any shape, form, or fashion until I got Crossfire, which they, out of the goodness of their heart, did, because it ended up there was nothing wrong with their transmitter, in my humble opinion. I got a Radio Master radio with a bad 4-in-1 module in the back of it. But it took Crossfire a week or 3 to actually assure this company that if they gave me, and they wouldn't give me a refund still, it was only a store credit. If they gave me back $209 as a store credit, that they wouldn't have to eat this transmitter. When they finally got an email from Crossfire telling them that they gave me a store credit for this, I got $209 worth of, I got like 3 Crossfire diversity receivers, 5 nano receivers, and some extra antennas with extra length on them, Immortal T's, because I figured there'd be a supply problem, which there seems to be now. As my first getting my feet wet with Crossfire, based on the fact of them just giving rave reviews down here for telemetry performance. But this was a secondary problem with the company I bought this from. So during the 2 weeks and prior, they more quickly changed out my original TX16S Max radio for another radio, which was an even trade with the company. They were willing to do that, especially because I bought up just a little bit. When they offered to do that trade real easily, I said, well, that's nice of you. I'll go ahead and buy this one from you. It's $40 or $50 more, but instead of just a straight trade, I'll give you some money. I'll try to do a little more business with you. That didn't matter to them. But they did do that trade. So I got in the new radio and put this the original transmitter that's on the screen in it, and it didn't work in the new radio. So I just said I'm not going to fight with that company for replacing the radio for the 3rd time. I'm just going to shut the hell up. And then within a week or so, Crossfire assured them in an email that they wouldn't have to eat this $209. So I just for several months had just this transmitter and the extra parts I bought with the $209 credit. And that's how I got into Crossfire. April probably was the 1st of May or so before I got to work with a lot of this, and then had my accident a month later. I'm real green with it. Okay, The second radio I got from that company, I went 2 or 3 months with the original radio and this transmitter. I decided to buy a TX16 SE, which comes with a 1-in-1 module, a really low protocols, like 20 or 30 protocols, whereas the 4-in-1 module has close to 100, maybe a little over 100 or under, somewhere around in there. I ordered another full-size Crossfire module with it. At the time, I ordered the TX16 SE, and the two of those came, and this worked perfectly in the back of the new SE. So I said, I put it in the back of the TX16S Max, and it didn't work. I said, I'm ordering a 4-in-1 module to upgrade the DX16 SE. I actually had one in my hand that I had intended on putting in the original radio, but hadn't got around to it. I put it in and ordered another one, so I'd have the 4-in-1 module upgraded in both of them, and this transmitter now works in both of those radios. That's kind of how all of this got started. Let's see what's happened over here while I was running my mouth, just to give it some time. 7, 800. I would surely think, and we're down at 55 here, 65, 70 up here. I would surely think you could at least transmit a return to home if your radio in your hand blew up, and my second radio backup blew up. For a third attempt at getting it back, I could hit return to launch here. I don't know if there's that much redundancy really needed. But this running near 70, I think I'm going to trust this link and fly it. But again, here's the bomb. This is not satisfactory to me. I'm going to go for the Dragon Link 915 because the antennas are a little smaller. The 433 will penetrate better. It doesn't really penetrate. The size of the frequency wave you're transmitting is just big enough to step over things. And it appears to penetrate. That's not really what's happening. Power would make it penetrate. Frequency being large makes it step over objects that would block other shorter frequencies. So the 433 is wonderful, but I'll never outrun the 915. And .433 can be worse than the 915 because 4 times 433 is 1299. That's the second harmonic of 433. That's so close to 1280 it isn't funny. 915 is what? 1280 minus 915 is 365 difference, whereas 1299 minus 1280 is 19. Those are so close together it ain't even funny. A whole lot more interference going to go on. I will select being separated by 365. If you've been to a drone race, we don't separate by that much on the 5.8 gigahertz band. We have to separate. We easily do 20, 22, 25. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've been to a drone race. I don't race, but I go to watch, and I was interested in all the tuning right down to I actually took a drone to race, and they wouldn't let me race it, but that's a whole different story. No, I didn't have a full flight controller on it. But you see the difference in the separation here. Second harmonic of 433 is this close to the 1280, whereas the 915 itself, second harmonic of that would be out there at 1830, way away from the 1280. So this is why I'll choose that. It's purely electronics theory. In practice, everybody tells me because the circuitry of these cheap pieces of junk, look, we're at 70. That's completely perfect to me. 69 I don't like so much. But I will fly this. But I will get Dragon Link because the crossfire transceiver on the platforms are 10 milliwatt. And the Dragon Link receivers, although big and much more expensive, are 1,000 milliwatts or 1 watt. It's not 100 times the range either. That's not the way it works. But they are a considerable difference in distance for 10 milliwatts over 1,000 milliwatts. Just hands down. There's no sense. I've got the Crossfire Mavlink over Crossfire working on the Crossfire Micro version 2 via Wi-Fi, which I can use in my notebook. I have to figure out how to force a IP address into it. Maybe I can use 127.1.0.1.1, whatever. We'll figure that out later. But I've got it working. I'll just tell you without showing you because this is getting long as the other one. The full-size Crossfire transmitter with the Bluetooth does not work still. But I did get the Crossfire Micro V2 via Wi-Fi working after a fashion. Again, it jumped up to 70 and above. I'm going to have to say 70 works great for me. 69 again doesn't for me. And again, the actual link status looks even better, and the byte throughput is oh, this isn't bytes per second over here. This is total bytes. I've been reading that wrong. This is the bytes per second. Of course they're lower. Man. See, I'm still suffering from the brain concussion. Just not really quite back up to snuff. So, I guess I'll just close out this second telemetry discussion, unless somebody wants to get deep into how to configure the other radios. I'm trying to leave those other radios behind. Right now, I can't find any Dragon Link anywhere on the planet. I can't even find a receiver to get in the door by itself so I can start figuring out how I'm going to wire it, etc., etc., etc. I can look at the documentation, but that never works as well for me as it does hands-on. I can do things much faster hands-on than I can with documentation, though I can grasp concepts on my own from extremely complex documentation without being hands-on. It's more tedious to me and it's time-consuming. So I'm going to close this out with, I guess I won't be putting a Holly Bro on the Sky Hunter for the first few flights because this seems to work better than the Holly Bro, didn't it? I have to go back and look at the first telemetry video I did today. But the ultimate solution is the Dragon Link because of sheer power. Going to trade weight and cost for power, but that's my recent decision on telemetry. And I'll use the Crossfire equipment for freestyle quads, racing quads, RC cars, boats, uh, airplanes with no flight controller on them, that type of thing, because the little postage stamp size receivers are really good latency, long distance, etc., etc., etc. But the solution for a long range airplane is more Dragon Link. And I was told that in the past 2 or 3 weeks and didn't doubt the person at all. Uh, just I had not gone in that direction yet. Well, I was forced in that direction by, uh, as you saw, especially the Mini Talon having a broken USB connector on the flight controller. And thank God I got that. Oh, I guess I can switch that one over to full telemetry like this now. I'll do that pretty soon because that may work better. And I can take that telemetry radio out of there and I have one less frequency being transmitted by platform. It's also another reason for all of this. The less transmitters, transceivers you can have on the platform, the less interference you're going to have. I wish I could get it down to one. Sorry about all these long videos, guys. Thank you so much and good night.